Hi, I am doing a response to one of the questions that Dave said. Now Dave don't do the questions in the box anymore, so I have actually picked this one. This is going to be a 3-part video. Now the question that I am conferring to is, his question was, if you were the leader of your own country, what laws would you change? That is easy for me. Like I said, there's 3 videos attached to this, but my first one, my number one, I would change, before anybody looks up and says murderers, once they have the death penalty and they've been put to death a few years later, they find out that they are innocent. Please listen to what I got to say before you actually start writing anything down. I am 100% sure there are people out there who's been guilty of murder and found out they are innocent. But I'm talking about 110%. I'm going to give you 2 samples what I mean by 110%. A few years ago, a soldier on leave walking in the town. 2 black men got out of their car with hatchets, went over to him, and they butchered him to death. And I mean, they butchered him. Now, that is one example. Why should those 2 actually keep on breathing when they've just murdered a soldier? They turn around and say it was all for Allah. Stuff the bloody religion. They should also have the death penalty. Those ones is 110%. They was caught on CCTV cameras. There was people in the street preventing the 2 to getting away when the police turned up. That is 110% guilty as charged for murder. Now my second one is Rosemary West and Fred West. They murdered and murdered and murdered. Once they'd murdered people, they either dug their garden up to put them in the garden. Once their garden was full up, they started putting them into their floorboards. That is another example of 110%. Those people should never ever stay in prison for the rest of their lives. People says, oh, they do that because simple reasons is they got to think on the lines of what they have done. Bull crap. They knew what they was doing when they went and done the crime. When they went and done the murder, they knew what they was doing. There was no need for them to say, oh, you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life for the murders of. They've got their lives, they're breathing, they have a free meal, free lodgings, even though they get absolutely locked up early hours of the night, but they still are breathing. And nowadays, prisons are more like a holiday camp. Play snooker, watch telly, whatever. My personal view is, if it's 110%, then that person or persons should have the death penalty. And the death penalty over here, and the last person here who was hanged was Ruth Ellis. And no, she was no relation to me. But that was the last female person who be hanged here in England Ruth Ellis. She murdered her boyfriend outside a pub. She shot him, and she stood there with the gun when the police rolled up. They knew she was guilty. She had the death penalty by hanging. I would absolutely bring back the hanging on the charges of murder if it is 110%, which the two I have give you samples of is 110%. Thanks for listening. God bless.